It is Arsenal versus Aston Villa at Villa Park. It's Unai Emery versus Simon Cowell. And yes, Arsenal Fan TV have been rattled.
So who else do I go and get?
No. Apart from Pep Guardiola, the next best manager is Unai Emery.
No, you're chatting rubbish. Rubbish. Listen, hold on.
But as Villa fans, I think we all know this is going to be a tough game, a tough test. And yeah, you know, Arsenal fans are acting like it's more important than the signing of the Treaty of Versailles in terms of human history, and that their players are acting like it's a war going into this game. I don't know why they've got so rattled by Villa as a team. Maybe because Unai Emery's there and they're all convinced that he is about managerially equivalent to Steve Bruce in terms of ability. But nonetheless, we are going to be previewing the game today. So if you do enjoy Aston Villa content that involves tier lists, match previews, reviews, transfer specials, and my own opinion in videos, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe for much more to come. Follow along by clicking the little bell button to be notified when I upload, and comment down below your thoughts on the Arsenal and Aston Villa game. But without further ado, let's look at the preview. And as you can see on the screen, the first thing I want to do is actually look at our opposition for this game, and that is Arsenal. Saliba, you can see there being highlighted. I think he is actually a brilliant player. This is how they lined up in their last game against Wolves. I assume they'll do something similar. I don't think they have any injuries. Obviously, they have the handsome devil Calafiori that could come in at left back for Zinchenko. However, this is how they lined up: Raya, Zinchenko, Gabriel and Saliba, and Ben White. Partey was holding with Rice and Odegaard just in front of him. Martinelli and Saka on the wings, supporting Kai Havertz up front. You look at that team, the weak point for me is definitely the left-hand side. Odegaard is going to get forward. That's what he does. He's a creative player. Martinelli isn't the best winger in the world, and Zinchenko, for me, is defensively poor. So if we can get, I can't believe I'm about to say it, but Matty Cash and Leon Bailey to overload that side, I think we could get some success there. And we did see that with Leon Bailey getting the goal last season in the second time we beat them. So just remember that, hold that, Arsenal fans. And we look at their last game, it was a 2-0 win against Wolverhampton. They doubled the amount of shots on target and shots in general. Only 3% more possession, which is surprising given Arsenal's style of play. More fouls, same amount of yellow cards, more corners, blah. They won 2-0. But let's look at Villa, who obviously did get a 2-1 victory over West Ham away from home. And this is how we lined up in that game, JJ being highlighted there. Watkins and Rodgers up front with McGinn and Bailey on the wings. Onana and Yuri Tielemans were fantastic in the middle. And then a back four of Digne, Pau, Concert, Cash, and then Martinez in goal. The world's number one, who has signed until 2029. In that game, we did actually have less shots on target, but more shots in general. We lost the battle for possession just, but committed way less fouls. Somehow got more yellow cards, worked that one out. And then they say the rest of the stats are just there and there. We did, in fact, win though. We won 2-1, and I think ultimately a lot of people agreed that we deserved to win that game. So stats perhaps don't tell the whole story. In terms of the Arsenal game, I would line up like this, exactly the same as the West Ham game. The team was very settled. I think the subs might come a little bit earlier in terms of Jacob Ramsey coming on to the field of play, and possibly Ian Maatsen. I think if Ian Maatsen is 100% match fit and ready, possibly he gets the nod over Luca Digne. There's no one really to replace Matty Cash. Did come off with a slight injury, but I haven't heard any news linking him to being out this game. I have heard some rumours about Leon Bailey possibly not being fit for this game. I think that if that is the case, you either move John McGinn to the right and start Ramsey on the left, or you just bring Jadon Philogene straight into the game. I think he would have a lot of fun toying with the likes of Zinchenko, but I can't see Unai Emery changing anything massively, especially at this stage of the season when the games are 7 days apart. We don't have any cup games. We don't have any European games yet. So I think getting some consistency in the legs of those players alongside good rotation and good use of the substitutions, I think we'll see Ross Barkley this game, is going to be key for us to get a result. And I think that's the lineup that I would go for, purely, again, for that consistency, for that the gelling of the team. Obviously, Maatsen is eventually going to come in and be the starting left back. I don't think anyone is in any argument over that. And again, there is an argument for John Duran possibly to get a start. He came on, he scored. Do you move Rodgers out to the left, McGinn onto the right if Bailey's injured, and then stick Duran up front. That's a conversation that I'm sure will be being had, especially if Bailey is injured. And I'd like to hear your comments down below on what you think about the starting lineup as well. But let's get in to the bit you've all been waiting for. I'm sure there'll be Arsenal fans waiting there ready to type their comments. The match prediction. So look, what do I think is going to happen in this game? I think Arsenal are going to win 6-0. You know, in the end of the day, Mikel Arteta hired pickpockets to... I can't even be serious. Look, I don't know what's going to happen in this game, obviously. I think... my head is telling me that Arsenal are going to win. I think they're going to be really impressive this season. I think they're going to be pushing towards the top of the table, obviously, like they have been the last few seasons. I think they've made some good additions to their squad, although I don't know if they're going to be fully fit to start. There's Gabriel Jesus, possibly could be starting. Calafiori, possibly starting. My heart's telling me that Villa are going to win. My head's telling me that Arsenal are going to win. Therefore, I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. I think Watkins will get a goal. He seems to love a goal against Arsenal, clearly, because it's the club he supports, and players always seem to score against the clubs that they support. But I also think that Arsenal probably have a goal in them. I don't think we've fully ironed out our defensive issues just yet. Perhaps Martinez will keep a clean sheet to celebrate the signing of his new contract and against the club that mistreated him for 10 plus years. But I think really, the best result for Villa, obviously a win. The most realistic, I think, is probably a draw at this stage of the season. But look, Villa Park was a fortress last year, and perhaps it will be again. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. We've got loads of videos coming over the next few days, so stick around for that. As always, be nice everyone, up the Villa, and let's go show Simon Cowell that Villa have got talent.